we're going to be taking a look at gameplay from one of my viewers, the Elite Gamer. As he plays the match, I'll be on the lookout for key moments. Let's start off by having a look at your perks. Enduring and Spirit Fury are a fine combination on a killer like Myers, but Barbecue and Save the Best for Last aren't that helpful for him. Two replacements I'd suggest would be Corrupt Intervention to give you more time to level up your Evil Within, and Bamboozle, which synergizes well with his faster vaulting speed. Patrolling these middle gens first was a good move. They tend to be the first ones that survivors target on this map. Getting some easy stalking done here. Very nice. I think they know you're here now. Oh, but they didn't use that opportunity to run away. They just fed you more power with that decision. What was this Kate doing? All she had to do was run away from you in a straight line. This down should never have happened. And let's not forget Kate's twin here, who thought hiding behind the tree was a good idea. Now this was a mistake on your part. You would have gotten more value by hooking the two survivors you just downed, but instead, you let Dwight bait you into chasing him. Let's see how it plays out. So you do secure the down on Dwight, but you allowed him to kite you all the way across the map, giving the remaining player the opportunity to rescue his teammates risk-free. So you wind up only getting one hook instead of two. Now you might come at me and say, "Bang, the guy was taunting me with the flashlight, see? It's not about the hooks, it's about sending a message." Well, my message to you, my friend, is that you could have played that better. I'm starting to think these survivors are bots. No, wait. Even bots know they're supposed to run away from the killer. And what was she doing here? It's almost as if they're completely oblivious to your rarity. Now here is where you made a mistake. You had two hooks and a generator all next to each other, and they would have been really easy to patrol. But instead, you hung the second survivor on a hook far away from the first. Don't make your job harder than it needs to be. Looks like the last two survivors are in that corner over there. You decided to search the house yourself, which had a high risk of the survivor slipping past you. A smarter play would have been to wait at this corner and keep an eye on both escape routes. Then you just let them reveal themselves. You do wind up running into one regardless, so that's good. Looks like she kept you busy just long enough for Dwight to get the unhook. There was honestly no excuse for her getting downed here. All she had to do was keep running, and she could have made it to the house or the pallet. Okay, let's pause for a second. Here's a question for you. Which direction did Dwight run after vaulting the window? Is it A, to the right, B, to the left, C, he didn't run, he snuck back into the window, or D? I don't know. I wasn't looking. While this mistake didn't impact the chase much, it could in a future match. Once again, you're letting Dwight bait you into a time-consuming chase when you should be focused on guarding the hook. Just like in your previous chase with Dwight, you do catch him, but his team gets plenty of time to heal and do generators. Nice job scanning your surroundings. Another player might have walked right past her. Now, this was a questionable decision. Why run back to this hook when you could have camped the hook Dwight was on to ensure a kill? He dies regardless, but he could have easily been rescued. Downing this player took way longer than it should have. I attribute it to your jerky camera movements and failure to track the survivor properly with your joystick. At this point, there's honestly no reason to leave the hook. You could camp her to death, and her team still wouldn't have enough time to escape. I guess camping would be pretty boring though, wouldn't it? This survivor might be in some trouble. There aren't any pallets around here. Another kill secured due to a misplay by the survivor. Look at where she was standing when the chase began. She could clearly see there were no pallets in the street, but she ran there anyways. I'm gonna save us some time here and skip the 40 seconds of walking it took to find the next survivor. Ooh, big mistake on your part. But this mistake was not related to your skill. I'm pretty sure you're not wearing headphones, because if you were, you would have heard her footsteps to your left. Huge mistakes here. Not only did you let her get away without injuring her, but you also gave her access to the entire rest of the map. Kate overlooked the porch window here and took a hit for it. The lack of headphones is really messing you up this match. Ooh, that dead hard. This chase would have ended a long time ago had you been wearing headphones. This survivor's inexperience causes her to ignore the porch window again, which results in her finally getting down. But anyways, that's basically the end of this match. The final survivor doesn't bother running or contesting the hatch, so you wind up getting a 4K. Good job on that. Now let's wrap this up with my final thoughts. I think the Elite Gamer showed a solid understanding of Dead by Daylight's game mechanics. He knew to stay stealthy at the beginning of the match, apply pressure while his power was in tier 3, and take advantage of the perks he equipped. However, he also made some mistakes that cannot be ignored, letting a survivor lure him away from the rest of the team, breaking line of sight before it was necessary, and playing DBD without headphones. All could have resulted in defeat had the survivors been more experienced. But I'm confident that he'll learn from these mistakes and improve. So thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful, make sure to subscribe for future content.